Hey, what's up, guys? This is DeRa Brinson coming back for another Stay Woke podcast. Again, presented by TheSonicBreakdown.com. We got your boy, co-host for the millionth time. Who knows how many we are on now?
Yes, he's keeping me on, everybody. He's keeping me on for now. Good feedbacks.
So we got the producer slash co-host, William Wes,
Oh, stop it.
getting it in every time, all
Pleasure
time.
to be part of this podcast, man. It's awesome.
And I want to shout out our boy Mark for following us and listening to the podcast. We appreciate it, Mark.
Salute.
And we appreciate the comment. You know,
Yeah.
we do read the comments. We do pay attention to them. We do, respond to them. We're not going to listen to everything you guys say. I'm going to be real and just keep it 100. But we do take it into advisement, and we do appreciate the feedback. So, again, thanks to Mark, one of the Sonic Breakdown followers or listeners to the podcast as well. So
Thank you.
it hurts my heart to even have to have the podcast that we're gonna have today. Like
It's an emergency podcast.
and it like dead ass emergency podcast.
ASAP.
Usually we try to spread out the podcast and because this is not our full-time job, so cats do gotta work to eat. So we're making an exception and staying up late, working to the wee hours of the night to bring you guys this podcast. But it's only right that we do it for to me, I consider a legend, Prince.
Yeah, and doing it for the culture in general.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
As we all know, as we all have heard, if you haven't heard or you don't know by now, you must be literally living under a rock or be off the grid. No internet, no cable, no phone, no TV, nothing. Like literally,
Like I used to be.
like literally completely off the grid. You don't talk to anybody that has any of these devices because if you did, I guarantee you somebody would have brought it up by now that Prince did die last week. At the very young age of 57.
Wow.
From what I'm hearing, that it was that he died as a result of the flu. Some people saying that it was an overdose. I just have a hard time believing that it was any type of overdose. Just personally, just based on all the years that we've heard about Prince, and all his celebrity friends, all of his friends have said that Prince really didn't even drink.
We'll wait till all the
So I'm
real
not-
information comes out.
Exactly. So I don't
we don't
want
want
to
to speculate.
Yeah, I don't want to tarnish the man's name by even putting that out there like that. But
No, not at all.
I'm gonna just say from my perspective, the again, I didn't know him personally, but from everything I've heard, Prince was really as good a person as you might think. But let's start all the way over and bring it back. And I just want to say, like, for me, Prince was that guy. When Michael Jackson died, like I told Will, like when Michael Jackson died, like it hit me, but and you might say I'm cynical, that I do have a cynical kind of approach to death in my mind, especially when it comes to like celebrities, entertainers, and things like that. To me, it's like somebody dies every day. Somebody dies every second. If I'm not gonna cry about Joe Blow that died yesterday, I'm not gonna cry and be depressed over said celebrity that I don't even really know.
Be it a big name or a small name, right?
Yeah, to me, like a life is a life. So, anytime I hear anybody die, it's I'm not gonna say it's devastating, but it's sad.
All lives matter.
So exactly, all lives do matter to me. So when Michael Jackson died, I was like, yeah, it's sad. It's sad that we're gonna miss, the music that he could have made if he was still alive. The same thing with Whitney. And initially, like, I kind of had that feeling with about this Prince death, but as the day went on and it like really hit me that it's true, that it was real, like it hit me, and I felt it in my chest. Like I was like, oh, what is this feeling? And it was a true sense of sadness, because for me, musically, like Prince was that dude. Me and Mike, Mike, Big Mike, we used to have arguments all the time in high school, like literally like hour arguments, because me and Mike, like I'd be at his house all the time, he'd be in my house all the time. We'd have hour arguments about, he says he picks Mike and I would always pick Prince. For me, there was no, it sounds blasphemous to say, but no contest. For me, it was like hands down Prince. Not to say, and again, when you have these conversations, when you say you pick one over the other, that doesn't discredit or say that Michael Jackson is garbage. Like, no, you just think one is better than the other. So keep that in mind, because I know Twitter, Instagram, gonna blow my shit up saying, how you gonna disrespect Michael like that? It's like 1A and 1B to me, but Prince is 1A. So, like just Prince's ability musically to me, like he was the Renaissance man of music. Like he literally knew how to play 20 plus instruments, and not just play them proficiently, play them better than people that's their only instrument. Most people know him for the guitar and the piano, but he played the guitar, he played the bass, he played the piano, he played the bongos, he played I can't even think of all the things that he played. It's
Drums.
I even think he knew how to play the sax. Like this man literally played, like, just think about that. Just think about that in your mind.
The whole orchestra.
20 different instruments, and he played 20 plus. So think about that. Like, that's crazy. On his first 5 albums, he played every instrument that was heard on those albums.
A true one-man band for everything that he did.
That's, to me, that alone in itself is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That, and those first 5 albums, people instantly, they're all classics. Those 5 albums, and to play every single instrument, every single note, everything was a true creation from him. Like, to me, that's just musical genius right there. So I can't emphasize how like, to me, that creative process that he had, just from the conception of what he wanted the song to be to executing it all himself. That's an immense feat. And then for that creation to take that baby that he created and then put it out into the public and then to have that baby get praised the way that his music did, shows you that he really took the time and the energy to create good music, to create great music. And I don't feel like you don't get that from everybody. You don't get that from every artist. And that's, again, it's not taking anything away from any of these other artists that doesn't do that. It just amplifies and shows just how great of a musician he was and how great mind he was. I remember reading or watching an interview with Prince on Oprah, and him saying that he literally can write a song every day. He literally does write a song every day.
Wow.
And I saw that interview in the 2000s, in like early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s. So if he's writing a song every day at that point, let's say it was in 2000. That's 16 years that he's wrote a song every day. So that's 365 times 17 or 16. That's a ridiculous
extreme level of passion for what he does.
And that's already after he's been doing it and had hits and hits and hits and hits and hits and hits and hits.
It's already been mastered.
Like, that to me shows, again, the greatness that this man had. Like, think of one thing you do every day, just anything besides brushing your teeth. Like besides the shit you have to do, or not everybody does brush their teeth every day, so but that you should do. And he took the time to do something extra, something his own creation every day. Most people, like I said, don't do anything every day. And to still continually have that level of consistency and the level of passion is, to me, remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
I want to take it back to, like, also something else that that I think that affected my feelings about Prince is the concert that I went to. One of the I won't even say one of the very first concerts, but one of the concerts that I went to that wasn't hip hop related was Prince. When I was like, I'll say like 12, I also got to see a Michael Jackson concert. So I've seen both, and
Wow.
I feel fortunate that I was able to see both.
I'm jealous.
And still, even before all this happened, if you would have run up on me on the street and say, "Yo, DeRa, what was the best concert you've ever been to?" I would say Prince.
Still.
And now it even resounds even more. Like this woman at my job, Antoinette, when Prince was out here in April, I believe, she was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna get tickets to the Prince concert." And she was asking me because she knows I listen to a lot of music. She knows I'm really, really like music is very important to me. And she was like, "What do you think?" I forgot what the price of the ticket was. She was like, "Do you think it's worth it?" I was like, "I don't care what the price is. It's worth it." Like and
Man.
that's just how I felt. And she was like, "For reals?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "The best concert I've ever been to, hands down, Prince's." And she's like, "The way you said that with no hesitation," like I was like, "Because there is none."
Even if those tickets leave you broke the next day,
It was worth it.
you better go watch it.
It was worth
You
it.
better go watch that show
Like
and enjoy it.
I can't even remember who, if he had a headliner or if he had an opening act or not. Literally, all I can remember was from the point that Prince walked out onto that stage until me walking out of that concert arena and saying, "Man, that was a show." Like that's literally, if you ask my uncle, because he's the one that took me to that concert,
Hmm.
the first thing I said was, "So that's what a concert's supposed to be like." That's what I said. I was like, "So that's what a concert's supposed to be like. So this is the feeling you're supposed to have when you leave a concert
From one person.
from one person."
That's, man, powerful.
The when I got there, the thing I remember seeing, well, one of the first things I do remember is everybody that got a ticket to that concert also got a CD,
Ooh.
and it was for the musicology concert. So, like that off top was something I was like, "Oh wow, I already get the CD." You know what I'm saying? I already had musicology because I was a Prince fan beforehand. So the album dropped and I got it instantly. But the fact that he's going to also allow you to get the music by basically saying, "You support me by coming to my show. I appreciate it. Here's a token of my appreciation.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna give you a great show, so your ticket's worth it. But I'm also gonna give you something to say, hey, appreciate it. Here's my music."
That really happened. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't
literally.
even know you did that.
And like I said, that's even before I got in the door. You hand them your ticket, they gave you a CD, and I was like, "Oh, like yeah, this is nice." But it shows you that he wants people to hear his
That
music. He wanted
appreciation.
you and exactly, and the appreciation back, that it wasn't a one-sided appreciation. It was more of a conversation that he was having with us as well. Now, I also remember walking into that stadium and seeing a plethora of instruments on the stage. Like, I was literally like, and I'm going to tap into my inner nerd, my music nerd. I used to play the violin
Do what you gotta do.
in middle school.
Let them know.
So
Stunt for a little
I
bit.
understand the concept of, orchestras and things of that nature. And, I've been to a couple of symphonies. So seeing a plethora of instruments isn't foreign. But when I say that there was more than what you are accustomed to seeing at a concert, that's how many instruments were there. And there was two sets of things. Two sets of guitars, two sets of drums, bass, everything. Xylophone, Zeusiophone. Like, there was ridiculous amount of crazy instruments that you've never seen before. Some you have. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, what the hell? Like,
What is all this for?
who
right?
needs all of these? Like, literally, like, who needs all of this? Like, and then later when the show started and the concert went on, I realized,
It made sense.
yeah, it made all the sense in the world. I was like, it makes the most sense in the world. So, like I said, I come there, I get the CD, I take my seat, and I see all these instruments. And I already can. And the other thing I noticed is you look around the crowd, and similar to the Michael Jackson crowd as well. When I went to that concert, is there's adults, there's kids, and everything in between. Black, white, yellow, Asian, like anything, any race, any creed, everything was there. And that's what real good music does. It brings people together because great music can't be denied.
No, not at all.
It's literally it's an unstoppable force. Great music, no matter, it can't be denied. The body will let you know we like it. And there has to be a response to it. So that's another thing, like I said, that I noticed is the demographic of the crowd. And then, like, just walking around, you can see the excitement on people's faces. You can tell already. I didn't know at that time, but when I left, that's when I realized. I was like, those people with those smiles on their faces, those people with that glee in on their faces, their body language, they already been to a Prince concert. They knew what was coming. And you can tell the difference between the people that been to a Prince concert and the people that didn't. Me was the one that didn't. I had that look on my face. I was like, oh, I'm going to see a concert. Yeah, I'm excited about seeing a concert. I'm excited about seeing an artist I like, but, it's...
You haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah, I haven't experienced it yet. So I just assumed, I'm going to have a good show. I'm going to walk away and it is what it is.
Or get a hot dog.
Exactly.
Whatever it may be.
Just move on. But when you have that experience, it changes. So, like I said, you walk in, you see the crowd, you see the people. Then Prince walks out onto the stage. The light goes dark, and then Prince walks out onto the stage. And, like, it's going to sound like on some Stan, like, bass, but, like, the energy in the room changed. The energy in the arena changed. And it can be... Some people say, oh, it's the aura of greatness or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just the fact. The feeling in the room changed. The feeling, there was an excitement in the air. There was just a spark that you felt. Then the show started. Man, when I tell you, from the time he walked out onto that stage to the time he left, it at least had to be 2 hours. At least. And to be honest, I believe it was closer to 3. That man had the most energy, never stopped singing, dancing, playing every instrument on that stage, like I said, and not just playing every instrument, playing it proficiently, playing it better than some people that do that all day, every day that's the guitar. That's my thing. Playing it better than those people. Then get on the drums and play it better than those people. And then go back and forth between that, still singing, still dancing, still putting on a show. Like I said, Michael Jackson's concert was great. He put on a great show. He's a great performer. He's a great entertainer. But when you add that aspect, as well as, and you see the musical genius at work, it's amazing. Like, when people say that they can see music in colors, that's how I felt about that concert.
Wow.
Like, I felt like I saw the music, and I see the progression. I see it, and like, you have the quality of the sound was great.
And I'm pretty sure the spectacle of it too.
Exactly.
Lights, the sound, everything, the whole stage presence. I'm guessing, because I haven't been to one.
No,
but I'm saying, like, from what you're describing, everything was working all together too.
Everything was working together in concert perfectly.
Man,
like, perfectly, and the other thing about it was nothing seemed forced. Like, you can tell, like, at certain concerts, pyrotechnics, it's forced to give you something visually to look at.
And I definitely want to keep this all about Prince. I don't want to mix any names into this, because this is very, very important to keep it all about Prince. But I'm pretty sure whoever's rocking it or trying to put the best show possible right now took some elements from Prince.
Exactly. And like I said, had to. Everything worked so perfectly. Everything's, like I said, it didn't seem forced. And there was no pyrotechnics at this concert. But it felt like there was.
Ooh.
Like, literally, there was no fireworks, no sparklers, nothing like that. The most added stuff was just the lights, the way they had the lights going between changing colors and things like that. But other than that, it was just the show. It was just him. He's that good that you don't need the fire. You don't need just him playing the guitar alone. When he was playing his guitar solos, there's points in there where you're like literally like, damn, this is like fireworks. This is like being at the 4th of July, just watching fireworks go off. When he went to the drums, you're like, oh my gosh, this is literally like watching a basketball game. Like, cause you're so intense, you're so focused on like back and forth, back and forth. How is he moving into this fast?
And
How is he getting these sounds to go like this?
Which venue was this? Just to take it back to that time. Do you remember?
It was in San Jose.
San Jose?
Yeah. Wait, was it San Jose? Wait, no. Where's the? It was at the Cow Palace.
It was at the Cow Palace.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah.
That's legendary.
And like I said, like it just was a great show, and that was it gave me a better appreciation for Prince's music, and like I said, it allowed me to see that he really puts in the time in crafting the songs from every note to where it's placed. It showed me at that concert, because for you to have that grasp of all those instruments and then to put the songs together the way you did, to have them be as great as they are, the only way you can do that is by putting in that time or just being lucky. And nobody's that lucky for that long for the career that he's had. There's no way you can be that lucky that long. Some people are lucky to get a hit because everything just worked out that way. But you can't get several hits. a whole collection of CDs.
That's God-given mixed with hard work, man.
Exactly. And that was one of the greatest things that I took away from that concert. And it literally changed my mind about how concerts and how artists, how I viewed them. And that is one of the biggest. That's why I say, like, his death was devastating to me in that regard, because that's when besides that concert, that was the first time I really realized how influential he was to my musical growth. But upon his death, it also highlighted how important he was to my musical growth as well. It's sad to see that it happened, but at the same time, I do have the joy, because how many people could say when they died that they knew the effect that they had on people? Like, he might not have known the magnitude of his effect, but he knew that his music affected people, because there's no way you can have the hits that he had without. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is the joy of it. And the other part of the joy is that we have the ability to continue to listen to his music. As
I grew and researched his music, and of course, going back into his catalog at I would say in high school, he did make it a point, even till from that point and now. Going back to his earlier hits till now, and also being in the mix of whatever is modern today. Yeah, he always made it a really, 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 really important to connect with the fans, connect with people personally. Yep. So aside from all the technology that we do have nowadays, the YouTubes, the Instagrams, you name it, emailing, whatever it may be, it was very, very important to touch the fans personally. Be on stage, be in a small venue. Yep. Reaching out, giving back, like going back to when you were saying, like, giving back that CD at the front door. That's an appreciation right there. Exactly. That's a token of appreciation for, thank you for coming to my show. Let me give you something back. And that was very, very important with Prince. Yeah, that was to touch. Tremendously important. Physically, yeah. To even piggyback off of that, the other thing that exemplified that Prince wanted to have that personal connection is Prince was famous for popping up at Jack London Square at Yoshi's and just performing. He would literally just I remember that. He would just show up and say, "Hey, can I get on stage?" And who's going to say no? So he'd get up on stage, perform for a couple of hours, couple of minutes, whatever he felt at the time, and then just would go. And so think about, you're just a regular person just sitting at Yoshi's, like, oh, hey, babe, let's go to Yoshi's tonight. And I just saw a recent video where Q-Tip was rocking a show, and he just out of nowhere somebody just finds a guitar and gives it to him, and he shows up on stage and starts rocking with Q-Tip and other people on stage. I think the Roots were there. I'm
Exactly. That's
going off
because
the top of my head, but
that's because it shows that appreciation for the music.
Yeah.
It didn't matter necessarily the stage. It was just about the music.
man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful to see. To be a part of that, it's even more. But man, just looking at that video, I was like, wow, he just came out of nowhere and just started rocking on a guitar, going with the crew.
Exactly, but that also speaks to his musical knowledge. The fact
Yeah.
that and that's another reason why
No one's gonna say no to Prince.
Yeah,
too.
no one's gonna say
hey,
no to
can
Prince
I-
too.
can I-
But
I'm digging this song. Can I rock with y'all?
But the other thing about it is, he's musically proficient enough that regardless of what you're playing, he can match it.
Yeah, he'll match it.
He can play
he'll
it.
pick off right where you left off.
Exactly. He can pick off right where you left off and be like, you know what? Actually, we should put a change key right here. And then you be like, you know what? He right. It sounds a little bit better that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how good
Oh man.
he is. So, like, doing things like that, like popping up at Yoshi's just randomly, or with Janelle. Oh my gosh, her name is slipping me right now.
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, Janae Monet. Like, he just showed up at her concert one day
Uh-huh.
and went backstage, and he told her how much he thought how good she was. Like, you don't see legends really do that as much as I believe that they should, because you're passing it on to the next generation. You're saying, you know what? I see something in you that's great, and that can give her the confidence to do more and to have that confidence to say, you know what? I am on the right path. Let me continue doing this. Things of that nature is just bigging other people up. He was big on that. There was a story about the young guitar player, one of his bass players that was in the New Order Revolution. He picked her up, just randomly seeing her. She was a 15-year-old girl at the time, playing the bass, and he was like, that girl can play. Hey, you want to join my band? Let's go.
Let's do it.
Sheila E., Charlemagne, Morris Day and the Times. Like, that's another thing that I think people is underappreciated about him as well, is he wasn't just a good musician, he also was a good talent evaluator. And he also wanted to put those people that had the talent that he saw in positions to do well for themselves. Like,
Overall producer too.
yeah, and overall producer. If you read, and I suggest a lot of people to go to TheSonicBreakdown.com and read some of my reviews. Rory, a young cat from Atlanta, I think he's 19 now, is a guy I reviewed, and I hear Prince in him. That's why I say, like, Prince was that big of an influence on me, and he had to be on others as well. Mm-hmm. It's because there's things that I hear it all the time. In a part of the Rihanna's Anti album, there was a guitar riff, and I was like, oh, that's so Prince-esque. That's Prince-esque right there. That's a little bit of When Doves Cry or Purple Rain.
When it's a mixture of sexy and funky,
it's Prince.
It's Prince.
It's Prince.
Yeah, that's the perfect my way of describing it. And
another great thing, or another great aspect of it is, I believe if Prince said, I just want to be a jazz musician, he could have been the greatest jazz musician. If he said, I just want to make pop music, he could have made the greatest pop music. If he just wanted to be R&B, he could have just done R&B. If he wanted to do funk, he could have did funk. He could have did any genre that he chose to, and he chose to mix them all together. He chose to sometimes be more R&B, sometimes be more rock, sometimes be a little more popish. Whatever you want to put it in, he had an element in it, or he could put an element in it if he wanted to. And that diversity is, again, it's hard to have that diversity. It's easier to be specialized in one area and to really focus on that in one area and become an expert. But there's only a few people, I believe, that can be experts in all areas. And he was one of those people. Again, it's really sad and hard to even talk about some of this stuff because, again, we are missing a legend, but at the same time, his music will live on, and it will stay living on, and his influence will stay living on through the Janelle Monáes, through the Rihannas that are using certain samples, or Rory's that have that inner touch, or I believe even Andre 3000. I don't think Andre 3000 would have the confidence to make the fashion choices that he does, or to be as eccentric as he has been, if it wasn't for people like Prince that
did it before him.
Yeah, that allowed people to be like, it's okay to be me. It's okay to be different. And that's another thing. Prince wanted you to embrace you. At the end of the day, don't be me. Be you. If you want to take some of the things that I'm doing and incorporate it and make it a part of you, that's great. But be you. Celebrate that individuality. I do want to touch on some of the things. I just saw the Larry King interview with Prince.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that he mentioned in that was that he, again, embracing your individuality and being confident in yourself, and as well as what you can provide. That is something that Prince had, but at the same time, he was humble. Like, so having that ability to be confident but yet still be humble, because the only way I can fathom him not being complacent is by being humble. Because when you start to feel yourself and feel like you're the greatest thing walking, you don't work as hard.
Mm-mm.
It's human nature. If you think you're the shit, you stop putting in as much work as when you don't think you are.
You forget your purpose.
Exactly. And the fact that he put in that work every day, and like I said, again, going back to making a song every day. Nobody makes a song every day unless you're putting in work. Especially when you know you're not going to get paid for said song. You just want to continue to practice on your craft. So, like I said, Prince affected from fashion to music to individuality. And one of the biggest things that I hope doesn't get missed is the humanitarian that he was. Prince did more for inner cities, individuals, than anybody will ever know. Because 90% of those times, he didn't want to be known for it.
He kept a lot of things private.
He kept a lot of things private, and that's another one of the things that I feel like I relate to Prince is in that regard is I tend to be a private person. I don't tell my business out like that. I don't see the need.
Yeah.
But I do want to be a good person. I do believe I am a good person, but I want to, every day I strive to be a better person. I strive to, like in the last podcast that we had where we talked about trying to do the right thing just because it's the right thing.
Yep.
And that's something that again, I didn't know Prince personally, but everything that I'm hearing, everything that I'm seeing, everything that has been put out about him is that he was a humanitarian. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. I'm sorry again, podcast. But there was an interview recently about with a gentleman, and he was talking about those things, about the philanthropic things that Prince did. Like Prince would going to full circle, bringing it to Baltimore, the Baltimore riots. Prince did a concert out there for the Baltimore riots, or not for the Baltimore riots, but as a response to the Baltimore riots.
Mm-hmm.
The way it was given to the media was Prince is doing a concert. But what you didn't know was in the background, Prince did that concert to bring community leaders together so he can talk to them and say, hey, what can we do to make things better? What can I do to make things better? Is it just a monetary issue? Is it, we need more influential people to help bring people together? Like working on a legitimate solution. Not just saying, hey, here's a couple of dollars. I'm going to go do my thing. Y'all do what you can with this money. It was literally trying to strategize and come up with solutions for things in Baltimore. He did stuff, in Oakland. He did this program, which was to help inner city youth get teamed up with people in Silicon Valley, all the computer technology, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft,
firms, yep.
about teaching youth how to become programmers. to get them in that field, because he knew, just like everybody knows, that is where future jobs are going to be. If you want to make real good money fast, be a programmer.
Mm-hmm.
Or have something to do with programming, engineering, things of that nature.
Oh yeah.
And so he's trying to get the inner city youth that are most likely never going to get those opportunities to learn these things, the chance to learn those things, so that they can get out of those inner cities and make the inner cities better, increase their standings,
Their worth.
their worth, exactly, so that they can, in effect, have a change on the community. Those are the things that he did all the time that, people don't know about, that people don't talk about, because it's not in the music. And again, he was private. He didn't want that to be necessarily known. But with his passing, it is something that should be highlighted, so that you don't just know about the music, you know about the man behind the music as well.
Yeah, as a person, a real
Just
life person.
A real life person. So, again, yeah, of course he had his flaws. We all have our flaws. He wasn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. But let's celebrate the positives that he had as well. So some of the other things that I did want to mention was going back just to his influence on other music. Like, literally, like, I can hear him in so many different albums, so many different genres of people using his sound or using the sound that he created, and yet he would always come up with another sound, always come up with something new, something different. Like, that's just, again, it's just amazing for someone to have that ability. To me, again, he was the Michael Jordan of music. He was the Albert Einstein of music. He was the Louis Pasteur of biochemistry. He was all that in one. He was a Renaissance man of music. And I'm sad to see that he's gone. And I just hope that people really do appreciate his music, and that, don't try to find the flaws in him, because again, we all have flaws. If we can all spend more time trying to find the positives in each other and try to do right by each other, the world could be better.
I believe that.
So I just want to, I guess wrap this up and say, if this was my chance to say something to Prince personally, I'll say, I feel like you were like my spirit animal. Like, I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, literally, especially now that I'm seeing all these interviews, all these different interviews with him, by him, with his friends, like, literally a lot of the same principles, the same philosophies, the same form of thinking is things that I shared. In the Larry King interview, he spoke about, that he loves Spain. If you ask anybody that I know, any friends that I have, even before me seeing that interview, and you asked, where would you want to live? Spain would have been the place. And so, like, when I was watching these interviews, it was like, damn, like, really, like, we really had so much in common without even knowing each other personally. Spain was the best trip of my life. Spain was the best trip of his life. Prince concert was the best concert of my life. That's the concert that he gave to me. You know what I'm saying? The type of music that he played and gravitated toward is the same music that I play and gravitate towards. Larry Graham, which was his guitarist, I liked his music prior to him being with Prince, and I liked his music after being with Prince. It's just a lot of similarities, it seems that we both had, which really makes me and helps me understand why his music and why he resonated so well with me. And so I'm going to continue to listen to his music. I'm going to continue to rave and praise the music that he gave us, and I'm going to continue to try to live my life as best I can in the philosophy that we both share, is do right by people. Do right by people, they'll do right by you, and even if they don't, still do right by people. So, you know, long live Prince. He'll always
Long
be
live
the Prince.
Please, please, comment below. Comment wherever you're listening to this. Your connections with Prince. How Prince influenced you and everything that you're doing, even for passion for music, whatever it may be. Go ahead and let us know. We definitely want to check that out. Shout that out to retweet it on the Twitters and everything else that we have up.
Yeah,
For sure,
definitely,
we definitely want to hear from everybody, and make this such a, more powerful than it really seems to be in everyday life.
That's true.
Because this is one of those things where you look at it, and then the next day it comes around, but very, very important right here. Prince definitely made an imprint of what we do every single day.
Yeah, that's true. And one more thing that I do want to add. Again, I do want you guys to, give us comments and, give us feedback, especially about this topic. And like Will said about Prince's influence on you, or Prince's music's influence on you, or how you see his influence on other artists, or if you hear it in other
Yeah, let
albums,
us know.
things of that nature.
Where's the
And,
connection?
but I also wanna issue a challenge out to everybody that's listening. Like, really, try to do good work. Try to do right by people. Try to do what you can, because at the end of the day, man, like, we all live in this world together. And if we can't get along, if we can't try to make it better, like, then what's the point? And I think that was one of Prince's biggest messages, is love. Like, literally, like, love. Like, it sounds corny, it sounds simple, but at the end of the day, like, love can do a lot. And if we can just see more love in each other and put out more love, the only thing that can come back is love. Like,
It will always prevail. Yeah.
so that's my challenge to everybody out there. Try to do right by people. Try to do right by yourself. Try to do right by everybody, and just do the right thing, man. And keep rocking, keep listening. Again, so this is a somber but joyful Stay Woke podcast. We got, again, the boy Will West.
Thank you for having me.
William Wes, again, listen to us, helping us out with this, and appreciate it. I appreciate your commentary, man. And this is DeRa Brinson. Live, love, and above all, listen to some fucking great music, man.
Salute. Thank you.
Rest in peace, Prince.